Welcome to Skill Station 3. Today we will learn how to build validations for our forms. When an employee submits a request to take a leave of absence, they should not be able to submit a request with an end date that is before the start date of the leave application. We are going to learn how to configure rules to validate information such as this. Since we did not check in or publish our stream during the last Skill Station visit, we can simply open the working version of our stream. If you're not already at your stream definition canvas, and you are on your home page, you would do this by clicking on the gear icon in the upper right corner of your screen by your profile photo, selecting Streams Management, and then clicking on the stream and going to the Stream Definition tab. Now, if a user enters the wrong date on a leave of absence request, we want to inform them right away. So let's use a form validation to do this. On our Stream Definition canvas, find the form called Request Form in your components catalog. Hover your mouse over it to reveal the Edit function and click on it to edit it. In the Request Form configuration pop-up, you will see that we have a few tabs here. We're going to start on the Web and Mobile Layout tab, which is where we design our user interface. Click on the Pre-Submit Rules tab. This is where we will add the rules that will be invoked when a user presses the Submit button on a form. Click on the Add Rule button to add a new rule. Rule configuration allows you to specify when to trigger a rule. So for our purposes, we want the rule to be triggered if the end date is less than the start date. We will accomplish this by altering our execution conditions and writing an expression. In the execution conditions pull-down menu, select expression. And we can use the merge field value finder tool to get the merge tags for the start date and the end date. Here's the start date value. Copy that. Find the end date value. Also paste that one in. And using these two values, we're going to build an expression by simply putting a greater than symbol in between those. When this expression is true, we want to trigger a display error. So in the action pull-down menu, select display error. And to the right of this, we will type a custom error message in this box. And that would take care of that user error. But what if we want to prevent people from applying for leave retroactively? To do that, we could add another rule. So click on the Add Another Rule button. And let's tell PulpStream that the condition is going to be an expression by selecting that in the pull-down menu. So here in the expression box, we will insert a useful function that always returns the current time. It is the now function. PulpStream has a variety of useful functions, which you can always find by clicking on the text above the box that says Help with Expressions. And you can find all of the date manipulation functions here, as well as logic functions and text manipulation functions. So let's use this finder tool to find the value for the request start date. Copy that and paste it into the expression box. Then add a less than sign to the left of that now function, which is the word now appended with open and close parenthesis symbols. Your expression should look like this. So again, the action that we want to trigger is an error message that displays when this user action happens. So select Display Error in the Action pull-down menu, and to the right of this, type in the custom error message that you want displayed. And that's it. We've configured two rules to validate the entries onto our form. Before we move on, let's look at the Settings tab. On this tab, we can configure the form so that it supports languages, and you can also include a pre-submission alert. So if you've translated this form into multiple languages and imported some labels, the field will appear as a pull-down menu with the names of those languages. The pre-submit alert is a message that you can show to users when they submit this form. Let's include one. Share for review. Underneath this, there are two checkboxes. Check the box by Allow Submitter to specify requester during form submission. And this option is useful when a form is submitted on behalf of someone else, such as an assistant who files forms for her boss. Now save your changes to the form. And let's check in the stream. Enter some check-in comments for the change logs. Check it in. And you'll see a running log of all of the check-ins and checkouts that you do here on the right-hand side. And if you have multiple versions of your stream, you will see them here. At this point, let's take the stream for a test drive and see if it works. Before we do that, let's publish the stream and organize the things that we are doing. On the PulpStream homepage, you have a forms catalog of all of the different types of digital forms that you can use during a business process. And this is how we organize those. So this is the title of the form that's going to appear in the catalog. This is the description that's going to appear as a subheader. And we can also organize these into folders. So I'm going to create a folder for HR processes, select that here to put this form inside of that catalog section. Let's enter some publishing comments. And from this home page, you will access all of the digital forms that you've got in your catalog. I've got a couple, and the one that we just created and published to the catalog is the requests form. As you can see, there's the title, there's a subheader. So we'll click on it to submit a new form. And remember at the last skill station where we created employees and I asked you to notate their employee numbers? This is where that comes in handy. So let's submit a test with an employee number that I actually created in a record. Let's say he wants to go on a Christmas vacation. Yeah, let's take New Year's off too. That would be personal. Up here, underneath the general section in the header, notice that your name appears as both the submitter and the requester. And you can change the requester to be someone else. If you're submitting this on behalf of somebody else, you would click on the magnifying glass to select the user that you are submitting this on behalf of. Submit. Yes. And the record was submitted successfully. And if you provide incorrect dates, the error messages that we created earlier will appear in red. Oh, leave start date can't be before today. You can click to read more errors, but there are none. So we know our form validation worked. And that's it. You've learned how to configure rules to validate form fields.